Okay, so finally, it is official. It states here that Roony Bardghji has just signed his contract with FC Barcelona in a deal worth over 2 million euros. He joins on a 4-year contract running until June 2029, and the official statement from FC Barcelona is expected to come in the coming days. Now, here's what gets very interesting, right? Because Barcelona are expected to announce this signing of Roony Bardghji very soon, but at the same time, bro, they're signing his little brother. Right, they're signing his little brother who is 15 years old. His name is Rayan Bardghji, and so it's like a package. It's a 2-in-1 situation here, both brothers, and we'll see how that does unfold. I'm not gonna go too into detail about Rayan Bardghji, but with Roony Bardghji, it does get me very, very excited because this is a winger that I believe has a point to prove. He is a winger that for sure has a lot of things to overcome after going through a big knee injury, and he was gaining a lot of momentum before that injury, scoring a great goal against Manchester United. Everybody was talking about him. Teams like Real Madrid, even Manchester United themselves, Man City, they all wanted Roony Bardghji, but now FC Barcelona have this player. He is going to be our player. He is going to be the one that is going to be competing between Barca Athletic and the first team. I do think that at 19 years old, the fact that he has also Champions League experience, first team experience, he is going to be seen the first team 99% of the time. It may be in the first 2 or 3 weeks we might see him at Barca Athletic, only to find out that he's just too good for Barca Athletic. He gets called up into the first team. That is a worst case scenario, and that's just how it's going to be moving on from there. The fact that this player is leaving now, everybody in Copenhagen I've been looking at the fan base and everybody, all the coaches and stuff like that. They are a little sad. They are a little, I would just say, not frustrated, but they're just sad to see him go, because they thought that this was a player that could maybe continue for another 2 or 3 years, but he's leaving and he's coming to our club. We have the coach named Juan Andrés Martínez, who has claimed that Roony Bardghji is just one hell of a player, and this is what he stated. He's not a forward who holds up play. He plays on the wing as a winger, and he has also been seen as a number 10. He's a very assist-oriented winger. He's left-footed but knows how to use his right as well. He's a young player. He's only 19 years old. He tore his ligament. He developed a recovery plan. He hasn't had any setbacks. You can be confident about his knee. And then, I'm glad to hear that, this is a coach that clearly does care about this player, saying that, even though he has this knee injury, it does not matter. He's going to be a player that will for sure overcome this big obstacle and overperform at FC Barcelona, which gets me very excited. And I do find it very interesting to know that this coach stated that he's not a holding striker. Like, he does not hold the play. And, in some cases within Hansi Flick's Barcelona system, our number 9, especially with Lewandowski, he is required to hold a play that would allow players like Yamal and Rafinha to make those runs. But, Ferran Torres is a different story. He's not required to hold a play. He's required to move into open spaces, to do great off-the-ball movements, to score goals. This is going to be very much a different number 9. He's not going to be a number 9 when he does play as a number 9, or when he does play as a number 10. He's not going to be required to hold up play, and especially as a winger, you're not supposed to do that 99% of the time. So this is a player that is not going to be like, okay, I received the ball, I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to wait for other players to make those runs. He's not going to be that. He's a pure progressor, whether he's playing as a number 10, as a 9, or as a winger. Pure progressor. Somebody who receives the ball and wants to go straight to the goal. So he's going to be attacking a lot, and that's really good, because once again, for a player at Barcelona, the one thing that you must need is to always attack, is to be proactive, to look at the situation and saying, oh my God, I did not expect to be in this situation. How can we move forward from here? You need to think very quick. That is what we need, right? So I do think that signing Roony Bardghji is a huge deal. This is considered as the second signing for Barcelona, if you really think about it, right? I know that we were looking at Nico Williams or Marcus Rashford or Luis Diaz as our second signing, but this is our second signing after Juan Garcia. So let's talk about this player, right? I'm going to be talking about the strengths and the weaknesses, but starting with the strengths first. Barcelona is a possession-based team that loves to counterattack, and his exceptional dribbling ability and his close ball control is going to have him just right at this club. His dribbling power is considered one of the best among his age group, and the fact that he can maneuver and navigate through tight spaces, that is going to be a huge plus, because at a team like Barcelona, we are going to be in situations where we're going to be facing Getafe or Leganés or Levante or maybe even Bilbao. Maybe they could be one of those clubs next season where they are going to be sitting back. They are going to be defending. They are going to execute a low to mid block. And as a team like Barcelona, we have to have players that can navigate through those tight spaces like Pedri does, like Dani Olmo does, like Gavi does, Yamal, maybe not Rafinha, but maybe someone like Ferran Torres as well. We need players like that. Roony Bardghji is going to be another Arsenal, right? Another player that can give us different weapons. And it's going to be amazing. His finishing ability and his powerful left foot makes him a real threat, right? Go look at the goals that he has scored while at his time at Copenhagen. His shooting ability is immense, very similar to Rafinha. And we need that because sometimes, like I've said, when we are facing those low blocks, we cannot get through the middle. We can only get through the wings. But if we want to get through the middle, we can make those shots from outside the box. And Roony Bardghji would be a tremendous utility player that can play in all fronts. Because I think that at the end of the day, he's very dynamic. He can play on the right wing if he has demanded to. He can play on the left wing if he has demanded to, and he can play on the number 10 position. Not a lot of experience in through the middle, but definitely a player that can play on the flanks. Now, I will say though, there is a couple of weaknesses on the player that I do think that it will get developed during preseason. Point number one, the physical limitations. He has a small frame. He's not that tall. His physical duels in the air is not the best. We need players like that, but he is not one of the best in terms of those aerial situations. And the fact that, you know, if we were to say, could he defeat a player like Bastoni in the air, Guardiola in the air, Laporte in the air, or maybe Rudiger in the air? He's not that player. He's not that guy. Maybe there might be some injury concerns as well. I mean, like, bro, like I've said, he's coming back from a long-term ACL injury. And, you know, Barcelona were always interested in the player regardless, even before the ACL injury. The fact that Barcelona are still interested in him after the ACL injury goes to show that to them, in their perspective, the injury concerns does not concern them. And hopefully Bardghji does not go through another injury during his time at Barcelona. Another thing is maybe there is some consistency issues. He has very high highs, like very highs, a lot of highs, but sometimes there are some lows, so consistencies could be an issue. Maybe we can also say the defensive contribution is not the best. There are defensive phases where, you know, all players have to be on there and be on top of their toes, make sure that they get the ball as fast as possible. And with the high pressing system that Flick has incorporated, you know, he is very much a modern winger, and he's going to have to improve on that. He's going to have to track back. He's going to have to press as high as possible. And that is basically it. You know, to truly be a winger that is successful under Flick's system, you need to be able to cut inside to create central overloads. You need to provide width, right? You need to press aggressively. You need to operate in tight spaces. You have to contribute in goals and assists. You have to be consistent in all of those things. If you can do that, you'll be fine, right? So speaking about like what you need to do, for sure, you're going to have to try and complete as many tasks as possible, right? Those things that I have just pointed out, so you can have the best bet against your competitors, like Lamine Yamal and Tony Fernandes. Roony Bardghji is not going to have pretty competition at all, or easy competition at all. I'm telling you guys, the fact that he's going to have to go up against Lamine Yamal and Tony Fernandes is something to like really think about, because Tony Fernandes is an exceptional player in my opinion. He's 16 years old, still very much young. He still has time. Even if he does not play in the first team for the next 2 years, he'll still have time. He'll still only be 18 years old. He's a player who is a central attacking midfielder. He can play as a secondary striker. He can play on the right wing. He has great technical ability, game intelligence, versatility, composure. He's a hybrid player. He has incredible quality. He's just exceptional. And this is what Hansi Flick stated about him. He thinks that he is good enough to be in the first team next season. With Lamine Yamal, we should not even be having a conversation. Obviously, Lamine Yamal is just on a whole other different level. A dribbler, a creator, a goal-scoring player, a big game mentality type of player, somebody who is considered as a Ballon d'Or contender. He is a untouchable starter. We all know this. So, bro, Bardghji, are you ready for that? Are you ready to try and take down one of La Masia's prodigies and one of the global stars in the world of football, Lamine Yamal? So, we'll see, right? Like I said, we'll see. It's not going to be pretty. Roony Bardghji, I expect him to not, like, be stupid. I think that he knows what he's getting himself into, and we'll see. This is for sure gonna take away any possibilities of Barcelona trying to go for a right winger. I heard some rumors about maybe Salah trying to get signed, maybe Bernardo Silva trying to get signed to the club, but that's just not going to happen. When you sign a player like Roony Bardghji, and now you have 3 total options on the right wing, there is no way we're going to be signing any other right winger, and especially for the next 2 or 3 years at the very least. We have to see how these players do play out. Lamine Yamal is a lock. Tony Fernandez is one hell of a player. He's a gem. I don't see him moving anywhere within the next 2 or 3 years. And Roony Bardghji, he's going to need time. So let me know in the comment section down below. Do you welcome this signing? Are you okay with this signing? Does this signing excite you? And what do you expect from Roony Bardghji for the next season? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.